the renowned CZ75. PO1. Welcome back, peeps, family, friends, subscriber, and all to Dukes Outdoor and Tech TV. Alright, so for today, I'm going to do a review of a coveted firearm, the CZ75. But let me give you first a quick backstory. How I came across this firearm, because I had no idea, even though, you know, to some extent you can say why I'm, you know, into firearms a lot and such forth. I wasn't aware of this type of firearm until I went to Jamaica a few years ago. So went to Jamaica, checked my brethren up in Manchester, and we did there. So one of him brethren drop on the scene, and it turns out that they were both firearm holders. Concealed carry firearm holders in Jamaica, because it's pretty popular down there. It's not as restrictive as over here, at least in New York anyways. So, you know, one man had a Glock 34, and next man pop out an unusual looking firearm. And I'm like, what the hell is that? They say a CZ. I'm like, CZ? Never heard of it before. I'm like, yeah, it's a pretty accurate, you know, this is what we use in a competition shooting and, you know, for self-defense, yada. But the most unique thing that I liked about it was the fact that it have an inverted slide, and I'll show that to you in a few. So that's the backstory on that. So we're looking at here now is your CZ75. Now, the receipt, which says it was 775, says it's an Omega. I'm not sure. I'll have to do some research on that to see if it's an Omega, but this is what it is. Very nice, sleek, high quality design, and I think manufactured in Czechoslovakia. So ever since I've seen this firearm, it's been coveted. Not coveted because I just want every firearm, but because, as I told you before in previous videos, I buy firearm based off caliber, function, feature, but there's something unique about a firearm wherein I'll go out and try to acquire it. Just like the CZ. So the CZ, what is unique about the CZ is the how the slide is inverted on the frame. Most firearm, the slide operate outside of the frame. This one, it operate inside of the frame. And I'll disassemble it quickly to let you see how what that look like. But first, let's just go over some of the functions. So let me just see if the check firearm safe and decock. So this is a CZ75. As again, they say it's an Omega. Not sure. I'll do some research. But most the older type models that I've seen that are Omegas have the Omega symbol on it. I don't see it on this one, but it does look like an Omega. So this more than likely may replace the Glock as my EDC or as my self-defense firearm in a certain scenarios, not necessarily every scenario, but it'll have to start interchange with the Glock. Why? Because you'll have to palm this firearm to actually feel how ergonomic it is. It has a palm swell here that your palm just fits naturally in. You have a groove here that your finger can fit in. It just fits real well. Let me go over some of the features, pros and cons. Kind of like the checkering here, give you a good purchase at the front and the rear of the firearm to select it. That is kind of nice. Also, I like the quality. If you look at it, you just see high quality. It begs for high quality, right? It's just quality in the manufacturing, engineering of this firearm that I really like. It almost like so much, you probably don't even want to fire, but it's going to the range soon and going to compete against the Glock. So basically, you see the low profile slide is not as high as the Glock and the SIG and some other firearm. It's not a striker fire. It have an external hammer. And one of the cool thing about it, it does not have a safety lever. What it does have is a decocker. So the decocker Once you press down on the decocker, it put it in a half cock state. So this is a single action, double action firearm. So what this does is allow you to actually have the firearm safely in the holster or something like that, but also have it as a quick ready where you can just come off and fire off just like that as a double action. So that's pretty cool. The takedown lever is here. The only thing about this here, when taking it down, is not, it's simple, but it's not simple. Why? You have to have kind of big hands. There's a little line here. You have to make these two lines align before you can take down the firearm. Now a Glock does this a lot easier. So that only one I guess that I wouldn't like, seeing that if you have a firearm that you are carrying as your self-defense firearm, I believe you should be able to take it down at night, like the Glock. This here would be somewhat difficult to take down at night, so that would be a con against if you're doing a pros and con against with the Glock, which I intend to do in a subsequent video. Now there is a attachment accessory reel at the bottom, not necessarily a Picatinny, so you can put a light here and probably a laser and the light, because you have some compact unit coming a laser and a light. But I think I'm going to keep this one clean. No lights, no optics, nothing like that. The sights are very small. If you take a look at it, very small. They're not night sights either. You'd think you get better sights on a firearm like this, but then again, for the price point and the quality, they have to cut back somehow. So what I will have to do, I have to invest in some night sights. I'll definitely have to get some bigger night sights, because the sights you can drift them out and change them, as you could see. So probably have to take it to a gunsmith, because I don't think I have the tools to do it. So I'll take it to a gunsmith. Nice thing about this now, I was looking for one of these firearms for years, and I just happened to pass up at my local gun store up at Smoke and Gun, and just checking on it, just looking at what they have in the showroom, and they have one of these. So I was like, so the guy was like, yeah, it was great. It was, put it out like the same day. So one cool thing again too, some folks like to shoot with a finger up under the trigger guard. It's checkered here for folks who does that. You have a nice big trigger guard that if you're using gloves, it's probably accessible. The trigger is not as cool and crisp as a Glock. Some of those are the high-end pistol like this one. It have a more curved feature similar to the which one is it again? The Shield, M&P Shield, which it's pretty, it fit my hand pretty well. It fits my finger pretty well. So I don't have any big complaint. No, the activating of the trigger is somewhat a little bit different. So let's check that out. So right now, see, I have a little pull up against a wall, slide pull, hammer drop. All right, so there's a lot of slack in the trigger as opposed to say a Glock. As you pull it up, boom, it hit the wall, you touch the wall, it off. So again, there are going to be pros and cons about every firearm. So you never run into a firearm that you could say, oh yeah, that's so cool, and everything is picture perfect with it. So as I said, I choose firearm based on the function and features as such forth. So I have to live with the cons also. Sometimes you can get accessories that alleviate them, but another time you just have to live with them. These I can live with. One cool thing that I like also, and most people say this is old school, is a lanyard. I think this is not only a self-defense pistol, but it's also a service pistol, and this can be used as a combat pistol. Based on the ergonomics, the rigidity, the quality, this here definitely. I think the Czech police carry these pistols. This is a combat pistol. It's have a large role that it can have self-defense, EDC, service, and also tactical or war if you want to pull it to that. So it's pretty nice. The grips you might see, these are not stock grips, right? These are the original grip. These are actually custom grips from G10. I bought, I think, yesterday. These are the custom grips. Not the custom grip, the grips that came with the firearm, which is kind of rubbery around the edge. So one thing I knew was going to happen, once you start oiling the firearm, these edges going to just peel right off. And plus it's kind of soft. Now these grips, solid, you hear it? Very solid. And I really like them. They got good purchase, good texture for the grip. Again, checkered back strap. Good beaver tail grip. So all in all, I really like the ergonomics of this firearm, and it really competes with the Glock. Even though there's a lot of features on the Glock that I would choose the Glock over this firearm. But again, sometimes farm over function. And again, too, it depends on the role you want to use it in. Again, I touched on earlier how to disassemble it. Might get a little tricky. Let's try doing that. First, again, you have to get these two lines lined up. Once the lines are lined up, you press the takedown pin, which somewhat get difficult, as I told you, so it get very tricky trying to disassemble. So, as I said earlier, this is, yes, it should be easy, but it's somewhat complex to take down this firearm. Again, because it's also a brand new firearm, the pins are pretty tight, and you have to get the lines perfectly aligned before it can before the pin starts to move. So now that I got the pin moving, it's as simple as just popping the pin. Just pressing the pin out. You can use this here. Do it. Which is one of the things that I said would be a con for this firearm, because if I'm gonna be using a firearm at night, I should be able to take it down blindfold, or not even at night. I should be able to take it down blindfold, because you never know if you can get in that situation where you need to take down your firearm at night. So I usually like to practice taking down my car pistols blindfolded. So usual mechanics, your action spring, your barrel, I guess your trigger housing and hammer. But as I said, the unique thing that I liked about this firearm is the inverted slide. You see? Normally it's the opposite way, where the slide go over like this. Now, see it? The frame go over the slide as opposed to the slide go over the frame, which is pretty neat feature. What this does is make this firearm very accurate at long distance and very low profile. All right, because just putting it back together is pretty easy. It's just 1, 2, 3 getting it back together. It's not as tricky as taking it apart. All right, see. Because the slide is so low, the slide is so low to the frame, all the recoil goes straight up into the shooter's arm. So you get very little recoil like this, as opposed to other firearm that has a high profile bore. So that's why I think this would make this firearm very accurate, and I expect to try that soon. Now, with the firearm, you get 2 magazines. These here are typically 14 round mags, but because we live in New York State, I think they choke it for 10. And this is a unique way, a cool way to choke it for 10. That means if you ever move out into a different state, that you can go with a full capacity, you can always remove this and go to turn it into a 10-round clip. All right, so you get 2 magazines with it. Again, I expect to take this to the range pretty soon. And when I do, I intend to run it against the clock. As you could see, same footprint almost. These two firearms basically built for this type of theater, if you will. Modular and ergonomics. Now, one thing I intend to do, and hope you follow me on the journey, is to use this Kydex material and make a holster for the CZ. So follow me in the journey. Next time, well, not next time, I'll probably do another video, but very soon this week, I will be using this Kydex holster, Kydex material to make a holster for the CZ. So, like, share, and subscribe. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully, at least you learned something. If you decide that you want to choose between the Glock or the CZ, or if you wasn't aware that this of the features of the CZ, now you could probably make a decision if you want to add it to your repertoire. All right. So until next time, peace.